1. Superman First Reactions, a terrific start for the new DC studios. 2. Superman 2025 early reviews are surprising. But what's the real Rotten Tomatoes score? 3. James Gunn's Superman, a critical flop or a misunderstood masterpiece? 1. Superman First Reactions, a terrific start for the new DC studios. Here's a bold truth: Superman isn't just a movie, it's a cultural reset for DC Comics on the big screen. This weekend, the iconic hero leaps into theaters with a film that's already sparking conversations, and early reactions suggest this might be the fresh start DC desperately needed. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this revival of the Man of Steel's mythos a return to tradition, or does it risk feeling too safe in an era hungry for bold reinvention? Let's dive into the buzz. The Los Angeles premiere of James Gunn's Superman, out July 11th, has set social media ablaze with excitement. With the embargo lifting, critics, influencers, and fans alike are sharing their takes, and the consensus? Overwhelmingly positive. Fandango's Eric Davis called it a promising launchpad for DC Studios' revitalized vision, while Collider's Perry Nemiroff praised the film's exhilarating action and perfectly timed humor. But this is the part most people miss. The real magic isn't just in the spectacle. It's in the heart of Clark Kent himself. David Corenswet's portrayal of Superman has been hailed as a career-defining performance. Critics like Joseph Deckelmeyer raved that it felt like watching my childhood leap off the page, while others marveled at how Corenswet balances heroism with raw humanity. Rachel Brosnahan brings fire to Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult channels delightfully diabolical energy as Lex Luthor, and even Crypto the dog steals scenes. The film's charm? It's a love letter to comics purists and casual viewers alike. James Gunn, now steering DC Studios alongside producer Peter Safran, has faced the unenviable task of stitching together a fractured universe. As Safran admitted earlier this year, DC's brand had become a mosaic of conflicting visions that confused fans. This film, however, aims to unify that identity. Does it work? Early reactions suggest yes. Reviewers like Jermaine Lucier noted that Superman feels unlike anything DC has ever attempted, a non-stop joyride of optimism and wonder. But let's get real. Can a superhero film rooted in hope and tradition truly resonate in a world obsessed with gritty realism? DC's future hinges on this balance. Upcoming projects like HBO's Green Lantern series and a 2026 Supergirl movie will test Gunn and Safran's strategy. For now, Superman seems to have struck gold. As one viewer put it, it's a Superman for everyone. Even when things seem hopeless, it leaves you believing in hope. So, what's your take? Is this the right direction for DC, or does it play it too safe? Are we ready to embrace a hero who's just good, no layers of trauma or moral ambiguity? Drop your thoughts below. And if you've seen the film, what stood out to you most? The action, the performances, or the sheer joy of seeing Superman? 2. Superman 2025 early reviews are surprising. But what's the real Rotten Tomatoes score? Bold claim to pique your interest. Superman is back, but will this reboot please everyone? The truth is, it might not. And here's the part most people miss. Content. As the highly anticipated Superman reboot prepares for its grand debut, a select few have already had the privilege of watching the film, thanks to an exclusive Amazon promotion. These early screenings have ignited a flurry of reactions on social media, painting a promising picture of the Man of Steel's latest adventure. According to Variety, a handful of critics have shared their thoughts, with Brian Sudfeld praising the film as bold yet faithful to the original character. Brandon Davis, another critic, raved about the on-screen chemistry between David Corenswet's Superman and Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane, describing it as off the charts. Yet, as of now, the majority of formal reviews remain under wraps. Men's Journal will be publishing our review shortly, but even then, the Rotten Tomatoes score might not be immediately available. And when it does arrive, it might not tell the whole story. The Rotten Tomatoes score for Superman movies has always been a contentious topic. Man of Steel, 2013, received a lukewarm 57% approval from critics, while general audiences seem to enjoy it more, with a 75% rating. Superman Returns, 2006, on the other hand, was the reverse, with critics giving it a 73% but audiences scoring it lower at 60%. It wasn't until the classic 1978 film with Christopher Reeve that both critics and audiences agreed on the film's quality. With this latest reboot, it's likely that we'll see a similar pattern of disagreement about its quality. Despite this, there's a good chance the film will be a box office hit. But will everyone love it? That remains to be seen. Superman is out in limited release on July 8th and will hit wide release on July 11th. Controversial thought. As we wait for the full reviews to roll in, it's worth asking, do Rotten Tomatoes scores really matter? Or do they simply reflect a narrow view of what makes a movie good? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 3. James Gunn's Superman, a critical flop or a misunderstood masterpiece? In a bold move that has stirred the superhero film community, James Gunn's latest Superman movie has been labeled as the final nail in the superhero coffin by a now-deleted review from the Daily Beast. This controversial claim has sparked widespread debate, especially as the review was published before the official embargo lifted. James Gunn's ambitious reboot of the DC cinematic universe, featuring a fresh take on Superman, is set to hit theaters this weekend. Despite the embargo, the Daily Beast released their review prematurely, only to retract it shortly after. The headline, "Terrible New Superman is Final Nail in Superhero Cinema's Coffin," quickly went viral, causing a stir online. The review criticized the film's over-reliance on CGI, suggesting that the excessive special effects diluted the impact of its action sequences. David Corenswet, who steps into the iconic role of Superman, was noted for his charm but was perceived as overshadowed by the legendary performances of Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill. The review also pointed out the film's attempt to juggle too many characters and plotlines within a 2-hour runtime, arguing that this detracted from the development of the protagonist. It highlighted the inclusion of characters like Maxwell Lord and Supergirl, suggesting these elements were more about setting up future installments than enriching the current narrative. Despite the backlash and the review's removal, fans have rallied in defense of the film. Many argue that the critique was overly harsh and that the visual effects, apart from one removed scene, were impressive. Supporters cite other positive reactions as evidence of the film's quality. Conversely, some critics echo the Daily Beast's sentiments, expressing disappointment and attributing it to the departure of Zack Snyder from DC's creative team. Superman stars David Corenswet, with Rachel Brosnahan and Nicholas Hoult playing Lois Lane and Lex Luthor, respectively. The film is set for a global release on July 11th. Stay tuned for all the latest entertainment news, from Hollywood gossip to Bollywood updates, and don't miss out on music, anime, and OTT buzz. And this is the part most people miss: the debate over whether this film marks the end of an era for superhero movies or simply a new chapter. What do you think? Is this the end of superhero cinema as we know it, or just a stepping stone to something greater? Share your thoughts in the comments below.